What's up, YouTube? It's me, Ashley, and he get hard when he walk past me. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Turn on those post notifications because, girl, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not the most consistent YouTuber. Like, I don't even know what to say, y'all, at this point. Like, I know I keep saying in every video, like, I'm gonna try to do better. I'm gonna be like, look, we just gonna roll with it, okay? We just gonna roll with it. Roll with that hoe, okay? When you see me, you see me. But no, I'm really gonna, I don't even want to say I'm really gonna try to do better because I always say that, but yeah, anyways. So today I want to tell you guys another story time. Y'all know I love my story times because my life is real life crazy, for real. Like, my life is crazy. That's why I'm so inconsistent on YouTube, because my life is like some shit out of a fucking Lifetime movie, okay? But that's neither here nor there. So for those of you who don't know, I was in the military. I was in the United States Navy. My first command was in Yokosuka, Japan. It is like an hour from Tokyo, you know, for those of you who don't know. And I was stationed on the Blue Ridge, USS Blue Ridge. USS Blue Ridge. Sorry, girl, I had to make sure I said, bear with me. Just bear with me. But that was my first ship. That is a flagship. For those of you who don't know what a flagship means, it's like the admiral ships. It's a party ship. The ship just goes different places. It doesn't stay underway for too long. Yada, yada, yada. I was stationed there in 2017. So by the time I got to the ship was in dry dock because it's a very, 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 very old ship. It's the second oldest ship, I believe, but it's very old. So it was in dry dock by the time I got there, and it was already in dry docks for 2 years by the time I got there. So we wasn't going underway no time soon. Like, I wasn't about to see shit no time soon. So I get to Japan, y'all. First of all, before we get on what happened in the story, let's just break down the weather. Baby, when I tell you, soon as I stepped off the plane, it was like humidity, Jurassic Park on my booty hole. Like, I've been to Florida. I'm from California. And it's just like, I've never experienced a humidity like that. And then the way the base was set up, it just gave very Jurassic Park. Like, very... So yeah, it gave very much so that, like, we used to make a joke, me and my friends, like, and sing the little song or play the song every time we was walking through base. Like, it was just Jurassic Parky, like trees and like the way it was set up, just Jurassic Park. So that was that. So mind you, this is my first command. Like, the only Navy ship I've ever been on is the USS Midway in San Diego, and that's a museum. Okay, so I see the ship, mind you, and then mind you, we're new to the Navy. Like, we don't know nothing at all. So I see the ship is in dry dock, like I just said. They like, okay, that's the ship, that's where you're gonna work, but here's where y'all gonna stay, the barge. So the barge, for those who don't know, a barge is basically a little ass ship where you just live if your ship is going through any type of problems or going underway or something like that. So I'm like, okay, so like walking up to the barge, it didn't look so bad, but it did look very small. Like, I was trying to figure out how were people living on that type of thing. So they get us to the barge or whatever the case may be, and they show us like the berthing. Y'all, I'm gonna just say, like, shelter, group home, skid row, dirty, nasty, what the fuck. I'm serving your country and you can't get, like, why is my bed on the floor? Like, what? Like, the barge was just so nasty. Like, the ship is already nasty, living on a ship, but like barge life is like really for like, that shit just nasty as hell. Like, it was just nasty and small and cooped up and just, you don't have nowhere to put your shit. Oh, it was just horrible. So that's that. Okay, so I'm like, okay, boom, that's cool, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Mind you, as we get it set up, there's this lady that comes in. Keep in mind, when I first meet her, I don't know who she is to me. At that time, I was a CS, so I did not know who she was to me in my work. So she walked in and her aura was just real. And as y'all can see from my channel, my aura is real. So we like, it was like we kind of sized each other up, right? So that was whatever. We got settled in. Me and, you know, all the girls that came, we got settled in, went to quarters the next day. For those of you who don't know who quarters is just like attendance type shit. I don't know like how to describe it. But yeah. So we go to quarters for CASs. And I see that same lady that, like, you know, we kind of size each other up, like, you know, who is you, bitch, who is you? So I see her, comes to find out this is my LPO, my leading petty officer. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So for the sake of this video, we're going to call her Curious George. We're going to call her Curious George. So Curious George was a Caribbean woman. I can't remember what island exactly she was from, but she was a Caribbean woman from New York. Anybody know any Caribbeans from New York? I ain't even gotta say too much. Like, I'm not trying to be racial, but anybody who knows any Caribbean person from New York, you know how they give it up. We ain't even gotta talk about it too much, okay? So, whatever the case, so she get all the girls together, let us know who she is, that if we need anything, fine, right? Everything is peachy cool. Peachy cool. We go through our little orientation, because you have to like have like a Japanese little orientation. I'm sure I'm not being politically correct, because this was damn near like 3 years ago now. But for those of you who've been to Japan, y'all know what I mean. So we doing all that. Things is fine. So after like being in Japan for like, I want to say maybe 2 weeks or a week or so, right? After quarters, one morning after quarters, ooh, I almost said her shit. Curious George pulled me to the side and she was like, you know, Scott, can I talk to you? So I'm like, yes, like, mind you, I'm 19 at the time. I'm a little nervous, like, oh, she want to talk to me. Like, did I already fuck up some shit? Like, you know, because brand spanking new to the Navy, young as hell, don't know what the fuck. I don't even know when you tell me to go to the quarter deck. I don't even know what that is too much. Like, it was giving that. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like fucked up my uniform, probably wrong. I don't know what I did. So she like, is there anything like you need to tell me? And I'm like, no, like, Curious George, like, no. But, and she's like, are you sure? Like, there's nothing you need to tell me? And I'm like, girl, no, like, say what you gotta say. Like, you know something, like, what's up? Then she asked me, like, do you know anybody from deck? This is how brand new I am to the Navy. I'm like, deck, I'm not too sure what that is. So I was just like, is that the people that work like on top of the ship? Now I'm educated and I know that that's the flight deck. But I was like, is that the people that work on top of the ship, is what I said to her. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, no. And then she was like, do you know anybody else here in Japan? I said, I mean, the people I came here from A school with, I don't know nobody here. I ain't never been to Japan. Like, what are you getting at, is what I'm thinking. Like, what are you getting at? She said, well, I'm gonna just say it. Someone told me that you gave fellatio to one of the deck boys in A school or in boot camp. Mind you, y'all, this is my leading petty officer telling me this. So I'm just like, what? What are you talking about? In my mind, I'm thinking this. If whoever you're speaking of, whatever male that you're speaking of, is in deck, I don't know how the hell I was going to be able to meet them in CSA school, is what I'm thinking. Everybody who knows CSA school, CSs are the only Navy personnel on that base, on Fort Lee. There is no QMs, there is no ITs, it's only CSs on that base. So I'm just trying to think, how the hell did he, if he in deck, how the fuck did he cross spray before he, damn, is what I'm thinking. Then she said, or in boot camp. I've heard stories about people getting freaky and nasty all in boot camp, but baby, I was just trying to survive. Like, in boot camp, God, honest to the truth, I was just trying to get through the day. Every day I woke up in boot camp saying, okay, girl, all you gotta do is get to breakfast. Okay, all we gotta do is get to lunch. Okay, all we gotta do is get to dinner. Cool, taps. Like, and boys weren't even cute in boot camp. They was all bald-headed. Like, so when she's telling me this, I'm just like, what? So my first response is, who told you this? because the only people I know are the people that I came from a school with. So who told you this is what I asked her. And she was like, I'm not going to tell you because you're going to say something to them. You damn Skippy, I'm going to say something to somebody that's lying on me and telling my leading petty officer this. Mind you, it's only my like second, third week on the ship. I don't want this lady to have that type of impression over me. So you damn right, whoever it is that told you this, I'm going to press the issue, because why would you tell her that? Why would you lie on me? And why is that any of her business? Like, I was just like, real what? So she was like, oh, I'm not going to tell you who said it because you're going to say something. So when she said that, I just say, yeah, y'all weird. And I just left it alone. I said, yeah, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything like that. You know, Curious George, I don't know. So she kind of left it alone, and whatever the case may be, right? So that was that. So I want to say maybe a week or two later, there was this gentleman on the ship. We're going to call him Sapper, because he had like 3 Sapper cases. That's what we're going to call him. I don't care. So it was this boy, Sapper. Sapper was like, you know, on me. And anybody who's been in the Navy, like, you know, when you're new on the ship, any females, it's like new booty. Like, oh, it's some new girls on the ship. Everybody, like, it's just like childish and disgusting and very predatory, to be honest. So he was on me. As y'all can see, the attitude that I give on YouTube is the attitude I have in real life. So it was just real, like, very that. But you know, he kept pressing the issue. But I wasn't really giving him the time of day, because it's just like, can I get settled first? Can I get like my basic quals first? Can I finish my little orientation so I'm allowed to go off base first? Like, let me just gather my bearings before I start dating and messing with people on the ship. Like, hold on. Because I heard, you know, that's not a smart thing to do, is date on the ship. You know, you hear all these things and all these things. So I'm just like, towards him, right? Come to find out, the boy, Sapper, is Curious George play son. Like, he called her mom, she called him son, but they not related, because like, he was Caribbean from New York, she was Caribbean from New York. So I guess they, you know, they had a tight bond or whatever. So as y'all can assume just how ship life goes, by the time the boy asked me what my name was, by the time I see Curious George, is, so what's up with you and Sapper? And I'm just like, dang, this lady don't mind her business. Like, dang, like, if it don't have, I was one of those people, like, if it ain't got nothing to do with work, or if I'm not breaking any of the UCMJ laws, or if I'm not, you know, disobeying a lawful order, why are you questioning me about it? Like, if I'm not doing, like, you know, I wasn't getting that. Like, I was really confused on that. Like, that was a big disconnect for me. Like, why are you asking me that? Like, because in my mind, LPO, leading petty officer, boss, supervisor is what it is. Like, in my mind, that's how shipmate, co-worker. And I've worked before, so it was like, when I worked at other places, my boss wasn't asking me, like, it wasn't, we here to work. Leave all that at less for the playground. So it was like kind of irritating me that she kept asking me about all these things. Like, you know, because it's like, I just got here and you already asking me, like, who I'm touching on, and you heard that I'm on, like, it was just weird, right? So that was that. So like I just told y'all, pay attention, because y'all know my story times be all over the place. Pay attention. Sapper was trying to get at me. Curious George is his play mom. So Curious George told me and all the other ladies who just came here from A school that she wanted to take us out to Chili's to, you know, get to know us, kind of take us under her wings. Curious George was a very take you under her wing kind of person, but it's like you had to bow down to her. Like, if she didn't like you, you not getting no barracks room. Yo, I don't know why your paperwork ain't going up. Like, she was that type of person. Like, so you kind of had to play the game, as they say, with her. So she took us out to Chili's, and everything was fine. It was like it was Curious George, another first class there, and I want to say another third class or something like that there. And then, you know, all of us were seamen at the time, so it was fine. They ordered our food, we eat, laugh. Where are you guys from? Da da da. You know, what are you guys, you know, what quals are you trying to get? Make sure you guys stay on top of your stuff. Like, normal, uplifting, positive things you would say to brand new shipmates. Normal. So at the end of the dinner, CS, oh, I keep about to say her name. So at the end of the dinner, Curious George get a phone call. So she on the phone, I'm like, nothing of it, like, you know, her phone ring. So she get a call, but then as she on the phone, she looking at me the whole time like, yeah, huh. So I'm like, who the fuck call her? Like, why is she looking at me? Like, I'm thinking, who the hell is she on the phone with? My mama? So she get off the phone, right? And she pulled me to the side and she was like, you know, Scott, I got to talk to you about something. And I'm like, what? Damn, like this lady is on my, wow, heavy, like what? So she was like, someone just called me and said that they saw you sneaking out of Sapper's room last night. And mind you, before we even get into it, mind you, I just told y'all I lived on the barge. I'm brand new. I haven't got all my quals. I haven't earned my right to live in a barracks. Sapper was there. He was already stationed there for probably like 2-3 years by the time I got there. So he lived in a barracks room. I just got to this base. I live in the barge. I don't know where the barracks rooms are because all the people I know live on the barge because we just got here. You get what I'm saying? So she was like, someone just called me and said that they saw you like sneaking out of Sapper's barracks room late last night. And she mentioned one of the towers. I forgot what the towers were called in Japan, like, but she was like, he lives in, you know, whatever tower. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, let me tell y'all, I didn't even know where the base galley was. I didn't even know how to, if you, like, from my ship, because the dock that the Blue Ridge was at was like way in the back of the base. So I didn't know how to get from the ship to the main gate. Like, that's how new I was. Like, because I was dropped off here. I don't know how to walk there. I don't know where the fleet center is. Like, I'm not really sure how to get, I don't know. I just got here. Okay. So she's like, yeah, they saw you sneaking out of such and such tower and you was sneaking out of his room. And I looked at her, I said, Curious George, I don't even know where that tower is, like where that barracks room is. I have no clue where it is on this base. Like, no idea. No idea at all. Let alone to be sneaking out of somebody's room. Like, I was just like, what? So at that point, I'm thinking like, okay, this lady got to be making stuff up because there's no way somebody could have told you that, because there's no way they could have even interpreted that, because I don't leave the barge. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, the most place I ever went was the next. Like, I was just so confused. Like, so confused. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, girl, you have to be making this up because there's no way someone is calling you, telling you this information, because, like, they're wrong, baby. They are wrong. So she was just like, you need to be careful and you need to, like she started lecturing me, like, you need to be careful and watch who, like, it's like, you know, basically giving me the promiscuous girl talk. And I'm just like, what? Like, I was just very confused because, mind you guys, I'm 19. Like, I'm just like, huh? So after that conversation, I remember calling my grandma, like, Grandma, this Navy stuff is getting real weird. Like, my, you know, leading petty officer just told me this and somebody told her that. And even my grandma was like, Ashley, I think they're just trying to mess with your head and, like, you know, see your character or your morals or something like that. Like, that's what my grandma kind of, you know, wrote it off as, like, don't take it too seriously. They're probably just, you know, playing with you just to see who you are, what you would do, what you wouldn't do type stuff. But I'm just like, okay, like, but that's weird. Like, Curious George is like 32. I'm 19. Why is she bothering me? Because my point was, even if you saw me sneaking out of Piggly Wigglies, that has nothing to do with my work ethic. I'm not breaking any of the laws. I'm not disobeying a lawful order. I'm not being drunk. I'm not under the influence. I'm not, like, so even if it was true, what's next? Like, what you want me to do? I'm 19. I wasn't grown, but it's like, I'm grown enough to be in the Navy. I'm grown. Like, what is you know? So that was that. After that moment, I kind of wrote Curious George off, like, yeah, I'm just not gonna pay this lady no mind. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But like I said, she was one of those people where it's like you still have to play the game. Like, if I was gonna say her name. I keep gonna say her name. If Curious George did not like you, baby, it was gonna be a rough time on the ship. Cause I'm not gonna lie, that lady had powers. Like, she had powers. Because I remember there was one girl that I was cool with that was like her, you know, daughter. She got mapped. She ain't never have to cook. Like, she was living the life. Like, she got a barracks room like this. And I'm just like, dang, so that's what you got to do to get ahead around here? Like, but I don't really vibe with Curious George. Like, she keep putting stuff on me and projecting this poetry on me, and I'm not giving that. Like, girl, what? So I'm just like, So I just write Curious George off and kind of play the game, because I need to, you know, at that time I'm new to the ship. I need to get my Petty Officer of the Watch, my, you know, M3 quals, all my stuff. So I'm just like, let me just play the game and be quiet and just kind of don't pay it no mind, right? Fast forward, I'm living on a ship. I'm living living my life. Curious George, and at that time me and Curious George we were kind of like cool. Like, we were cool, but she would talk a lot of crap about me behind my back, and it would always come back to me. But it was just like, I don't really care, because what am I going to do? And then you're my leading petty officer, so what can I do? Like, whatever. But I would just hear, you know, her say little mean things about me. And, you know, she would always kind of like have a nice nasty to her. Like, it was so like, darn it, like, what did I do to you? Type thing. I'm kind of skipping around a little bit because I'm trying to sum up a whole year in one YouTube video. But fast forward, Curious George had an eye problem. She had eye surgery. Me and my roommate, she was kind of growing fond of us in a way, but it was still like nice nasty. So after Curious George's eye surgery, she of course was SIQ, which means, you know, off work for a few days or whatever. Me and my roommate, as normal seamens, we just keep working. Like, we just show up to work, you know, might go to the hunch on the weekend, regular stuff. She come back to work and she's not speaking to me or my roommate, and I'm like, why is she not speaking to us? Like, I'm like, hey Curious George, like, how do you feel? And she's like, I'm just like, what the fuck we do? So come to find out, the girl that was her daughter, she later told us like the reason why we got basically exiled from Curious George was because when she had her eye surgery, we didn't go visit her and check up on her. Because she was also the, I want to say, I don't want to, RA, it might be called. Ooh, please, if I'm wrong, don't crucify me. But she was also the person that was in charge of the barracks. Like, if you get locked out of your room, you could just knock on her door. She would come unlock your door type stuff. So she lived in the same barracks that we lived in at that time we had moved into the barracks. Basically, she had a problem that me and my roommate didn't come visit her in her room and check on her after her eye surgery. And me and my roommate was just like, girl, you ain't my damn mama. Like, you fine, clearly you at work. Like, girl, like, I don't know what you want from us. We're not your kids. Like, and she loved a ship mom, a ship daughter, a ship son. Like, I have one mom and one mom only. I have one dad and one dad only. One stepdad and one stepdad only. Like, I'm not finna sprinkle, like, we not giving that. My mama don't even play like that. Like, let her find out I'm calling somebody else mama, girl, okay? So me and my roommate was just like, girl, that's childish as hell. But lo and behold, like, all of a sudden stuff can't get done. Paperwork can't get routed. Like, you getting double watched and shit. Like, it was just, ugh. Towards the end of my time on the ship, things between me and Curious George got real crazy to the point where FSO and Senior Chief said that she's not allowed to speak to me and I'm not allowed to speak to her. Like, it got real crazy. But like y'all always say, that's a whole nother story time. So y'all gonna have to tune in for the next one, because that one is like, ooh. But that's just like a baby step into my first experience, my first command. Like, that's just a sprinkle of some of the things I experienced at my first command. So that was like a brief story time on my first command and how my LPO used to treat me. And I'm not the only person she used to do dirty. Like, she used to do a lot of people dirty. Like, there was one girl she didn't like, and that girl, she was on that ship for like a year and a half and like didn't have no barracks room. Like, it was like, girl, like, you better say sorry to this lady or something so you can get out of here. So that's just like a brief story time, a brief little sprinkle of some more of my Navy experiences, my point of view, because this is my channel. Let me stop being petty. But y'all already know what to do. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on those post notifications. Give me ideas, whatever new videos you guys want to see. Dialogue in the comments. DM me. My social medias will be in the description box below. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. But I kind of only be on Instagram, so make sure you just follow me on Instagram. And I'll see you guys for the next video. Bye.